Are you really sure you want to move to Florida? More than 300,000 people thought it was the right thing for them to do and made the move in 2023. And what about 2024, 25? I'm going to take a look at why so many people are still moving to Florida and where they're coming from. At first, if you haven't been here before, my name is Mike Lavoie. I am a licensed realtor here in the Tampa Bay area and have been that for several years now. My wife Paula and I have lived in the area for better than 30 years. Over the years, we have helped more than just a couple people move in from out of state and would love to talk to you about doing the same. Give us a call, send us a text, numbers down below. The actual number of people moving into Florida depends a lot on who you're talking to at the moment and where they're getting the numbers. The National Association of Realtors came up with about 373,000 people who moved into the state in 2023. U.S. Census Bureau shows that over 940,000 people moved in, which is a lot less than 2022 when there were over 1 million people that moved in the state. They also reported that 510,000 people left the state in 2023. Now still, that's 430,000 new residents in the state of Florida in 1 year. I'm going to talk about why some people decided to leave, and we'll do that in a couple of minutes. But for now, no matter whose number you choose to believe, we did have a large increase in population in 2023, along with 22 and 21. So my question is, why are people still choosing to move to Florida? I mean, you would think with all the negative information out on YouTube, the cost of housing, cost of insurance, the debacle it's going through in the state, not to mention the huge increase in the cost of living in the last 4 or 5 years, you would think the state was going to roll over and die. I mean, those three issues are the main reasons why people are moving out of the state. A good portion of those are moving to places like the Carolinas, Tennessee, and surprisingly enough, Georgia. But with all those negatives, I mean, they're pretty big negatives, people still move to Florida. Why? The most common reason people started to come in Florida was to get out of the snow and crap weather of the north during the winter. As far as back in the 1800s, wealthy people had winter homes in Florida. I mean, it's not a new thing. The advent of air conditioning made living in Florida a year-round possibility, and the growth kicked into overdrive. I mean, one of the main reasons I moved down to Michigan was the weather. I got tired of living in 8 or 9 months of the year in ice and snow and dark gray skies. When you live in Florida, you live in the sunshine. I go out and play golf almost every day of the year. I don't have to scrape ice off the windshield every time I turn around. Paradise? No, it's not. I mean, no place is. Pretty darn close. To be honest, Florida's weather is also a reason people move to other states. We have hot summers. I mean, really hot summers to the point that without air conditioning, I wouldn't be here. The real issue is the humidity. Florida, from Gainesville south, is basically a swamp. It has subtropical weather. That means high humidity from July to September. I'm talking about dew points in the 70s and 80s all day, every day. It's, compared to living in a sauna. The humidity does take getting used to. You just make life adjustments. You drive in an air-conditioned car. Make sure the air conditioner in the house has an annual checkup. You do not want that thing going on the fritz at 11 o'clock in a summer night. If you play golf, tennis, basically any outdoor activity, you're going to start at daybreak in the summer. You want to be finished back at the pool by mid-afternoon. In addition to that, it rains every afternoon, about 3 or 4 o'clock. Almost every part of Florida gets these amazing thunderstorms. Everybody on the planet talks about Florida has to bring up hurricanes. We are under a hurricane watch from May to November. This year, we hit the jackpot with 3 hurricanes. Yeah, they cause damage, a lot of it, and death. They are expensive. That and several other reasons is driving our homeowners insurance up to the point where now Florida is near the top or at the top of the heap for high insurance premiums. Hurricanes are an issue, but when you think about it, how many homes were destroyed by fire in California this year? They had over 8,000 wildfires, destroying just over 1 million acres, burning 1,700 homes to the ground. How many homes were destroyed in the tornadoes out in the Midwest this year? What about the floods in North Carolina last year? My point is, every area of the country has some sort of natural disaster waiting to happen. I personally am not going to live in the fear of what might or might not happen with the weather. Back to the original questions. Why in the world are people still moving to Florida? Sunshine, it's obvious, but there must be more, right? Another major reason is jobs. If you remember, during the first part of COVID thing, businesses in moving their offices to Florida. I mean, several reasons, something like 300, 350 companies flat out moved in their entirety or moved a good portion of the employees into the state. Businesses like Goldman Sachs and Blackstone Group, the Citadel, just to name a couple. Florida is a very business-friendly state, probably second to none. The biggest draw is no state income tax and a very competitive corporate tax rate. Mr. Bezos must have had a reason to pack up from his beloved northwestern state, move to Miami, other than the sun. Working remotely became a big thing in 2020. I had several people from New York and New Jersey tell me that they had a choice: stay in place in New York and work remotely, or move to Florida and work remotely. Either way, they're working remote. So let me see. Sit in my home and work, watching the snowfall, not being able to go out and do anything afterwards, or sit on the beach in Florida and work, watching the sunset, and go out to dinner after work. Apparently, for a lot of people, it wasn't a difficult decision to make. Florida saw a population boom beginning in the spring of 2020, like it hadn't seen since the 70s. There were a few downsides to that boom. The cost of living rose dramatically. I mean, thousands of people were moving into the area like Tampa, Miami, buying houses sight unseen, renting homes sight unseen. It drove housing costs up. That combined with the supply chain issues drove everything related to housing up. And that happened pretty much across the state, especially in the coast. Cost of living, let's talk about it for a minute. Yeah, the cost of living is still bringing people to Florida. I mean, wait for it. Someone out there is starting to hit that keyboard. The cost of living in Florida is ridiculous. Stop typing. I agree. If you've lived here any length of time, prices have gone up for almost everything, housing and related costs especially. Prices have gone up all over the country for the last 3 or 4 years. Florida is just now catching up with other areas of the country. Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago, Florida was close to the least expensive state to live in, probably the least, and still be in paradise. You could buy a very nice house for $250,000, $300,000. Insurance was reasonable, and there was a lot less traffic. I just talked to a man. He's planning on moving down here from, I believe it was Indiana. He's looking for a 3 bedroom, 2 bedroom and den, one or the other, 2-car garage with a golf cart garage attached. He wants to have a neighborhood that's got all kinds of amenities. He wants pickleball, tennis, some pools, clubhouse, some activities, and he wants to pay no more than $350,000. And he wants an HOA fee of about $100 to $125 and no CDD fees. It ain't happening anywhere around Tampa. Probably, maybe up in the Panhandle, but if you want to be south of Gainesville, it's not happening. Not anymore. The cost of living, depending on where you're coming from, could be better or worse. According to Redfin, most of the people moving to Florida over the last year were coming from New York, Illinois, New Jersey, California. You people are going to be in the pink. And let's face it, the cost of living in Florida is a lot less than those states. I've had people save a lot of money just in taxes. Selling a 1,000 square foot condo in San Francisco for a couple $1 million, coming to Tampa and buying a 4,000, 4,500 square foot home with a pool for $500,000 and half the tax liability. A lot of our clients are coming from those high tax states. I've had several tell me that they're saving tens of thousands of dollars just in property taxes. State income taxes are another major thing. Again, I like to refer to Jeff Bezos, once a very proud resident of Washington State, most recently from Miami, Florida. I mean, he could have lived anywhere on the planet. No income taxes, no tax on retirement income, no inheritance taxes, no personal property taxes. Might have been a major deciding factor, you think? On the other hand, if you're moving from North Dakota, well, cost of living here is going to be a little bit higher. But you're going to live with an average annual temperature in the 70s. And did I mention you can leave that snowblower in North Dakota? Let's talk about quality of life. Another reason people are still moving to Florida is quality of life. I said earlier, I moved from Michigan. My primary reason was for a better lifestyle. I mean, let's face it, having sunshine almost every day of the year does make a difference on your outlook. There are several studies out there on the internet showing that just watching the ocean is good for your well-being. The sun, moderate temperatures allow you to get outdoors a lot more often, other than the push snow. Golf, swimming, kayaking, fishing, boating, I mean, really any outdoor activity is fair game all year round. We do have some seasons, and will tell you there are two seasonal colors, green and brown. There are a couple types of trees that turn brown in what we call winter. Other than those trees, it's always green on the peninsula. I mean, we haven't had white on the ground in years. So after some, 30 years of living without a change of seasons, we do miss the colors of autumn. And when that happens, we get in the car and drive north, spend a week, drive back. Same thing with snow. My 8-year-old grandson has never seen real snow. We do have a snow park just north of Tampa. It's called Snowcat Ridge. Actually, its correct name is Snowcat Ridge Alpine Snow Park. Not sure where the alpine comes from. The highest elevation around that place is just over 200 feet, but it is real snow. Anyhow, my grandson wants to see snow, which I haven't seen in 15 or 16 years either. So we're headed up to the Carolinas this winter just to see snow. And then we're headed home to get out of the snow. And after you get used to being able to go outside any time of the year and do something, it's very difficult to change back. I still have no desire to transition from summer to fall and then to winter. That whole freezing rain, turn to snow, turn to slush, turn to ice overnight has no allure for me. I mean, I turn the heater on in the house when it gets anything less than 55 degrees. I'm serious. When you get ready to make the move, we'd love to help you. Give us a call, 813-864-6370. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. Click that like button as well. It helps us get out to the rest of the world. Thanks for watching. See you next time.